Nice to see all of you. Hope you had a lovely holiday. Welcome back to the open classroom. Let me first of all tell you about coming attractions. We have 2 more classes after today. Next week, we're going to be taking a look at the question of whether the state government should subsidize private industry. And with us will be Representative Jay Kaufman of our State House, who will be looking at the whole question of tax expenditure, something he has to do as a living. And then we'll also have with us Professor Peter Enrich, dear colleague of ours in the law school, who's been writing extensively about the whole question of state subsidies, and he's even done some work before the United States Supreme Court on that issue. And then finally, on December 14th, our very last class, Mike Dukakis and Nani Burns and I will be fielding lots of your questions about the whole semester, kind of summing up everything we've done from those first classes when we were looking at people like Milton Friedman and Arthur Okun and John Kenneth Galbraith, all the way through the entire semester. So stay tuned. It's been wonderful having you all semester, and you're in for another treat tonight. One of the issues, of course, we wanted to take up this semester in this whole question about what is the role of government in the 21st century is the role of regulation. And tonight we have 2 absolutely spectacular speakers, both dear friends of mine. One who knows more about financial regulation than pretty much everybody else in the world, and thank God he's in the position to do something about it. And the second is my dear friend John Kwoka, professor of economics here, who has studied non-financial institutions and the role of regulation. So let me introduce both of them. But before I do that, I'd like to ask one question. How many of you are here for the first time? Oh my God, most of you have been here before. Glad to have you back. For those of you who are here for the first time, welcome. So, our 2 speakers, and I'll introduce both of them and they'll go in order. For those of you who have not been here before, each of them will speak. We'll take about a 5 to 6, 7-minute break. We'll come back and we'll have a free-for-all in terms of questions and answers. Eric Rosengren became the president and chief executive officer of the Federal Reserve Bank in July of 2007. Great time to become the president of the Federal Reserve Bank, timing it just perfectly so he had 6 months to figure out how to do the job before the economy fell apart. He was executive vice president and head of the bank's Department of Supervision, Regulation, and Credit. He also was in the research department and spent a good part of his adult life at the Boston Fed. And I think we first met back in the 1980s over at the Federal Reserve Bank. Written extensively on macroeconomics, on international banking, on bank supervision and risk management, and has played an important role over his lifetime at this business in coming up with a number of international accords on financial regulation. He holds an undergraduate degree from Colby College and a master's and PhD degree from the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Eric Rosengren. Our second speaker, as I said, is my dear colleague John Kwoka, who's our Neil Finnegan Distinguished Professor of Economics here at Northeastern. He's also a research fellow of the American Antitrust Institute, a member of the board of directors of the Industrial Organization Society, a member of the editorial board of the Review of Industrial Organization. He previously served as president of the Industrial Organization Society, and I believe when you did that, you brought the society here to Northeastern for its meetings. Before coming to Northeastern, we stole John away from George Washington University, where he was Columbian Professor of Economics, and before that, the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, and he's been a visiting professor at Harvard University and at Northwestern University. He's also been a fellow, research fellow at the Brookings Institution and Harvard University's Kennedy School. So we have 2 spectacularly knowledgeable speakers tonight. We'll begin with Eric Rosengren.